Richard Linklater's Dazed and Confused doesn't unfold like a typical teen movie with a clear hero or plot. Instead, it weaves an ensemble mosaic of overlapping stories across one night, the last day of high school in 1976, Austin, Texas. We jump between hazing rituals on a baseball field, a house party in the suburbs, and late night cruise in an old Chevrolets. Scenes flow episodically, a nod to Slacker and American Graffiti. As characters drift from one teen ritual to the next, David Buckingham notes that, on rewatching, the film resolves into four loose threads: freshman hazing, a wild party, a coach's anti-drug pledge, and a trio of outsiders. There's no ticking clock or final exam test in sight, just high school rites of passage unfolding in real time. The structure mirrors an adolescence itself, a chaotic tangle of craving freedom, testing limits, and trying on identities. Every character, from Randy Pink Floyd, the conflicted quarterback, to Sabrina, the sweet but shy freshman, feels fully realized. Linklater's script gives each kid a distinct voice and moment. As a screenwriting analysis observes, the film captures universal fears and desires, portraying characters who grapple with growing up, peer pressure, and self-discovery. Even the minor characters speak in overlapping bursts that feel authentically adolescent. In fact, behind the scenes, many of Linklater's real classmates saw themselves on screen.
Yeah, well, listen, you ought to ditch the two geeks you're in the car with now and get in with us, but that's all right. We'll worry about that later.
Oh, God.
I thought he was cute.
Oh, that's
You thought he was cute?
disgusting. Do you realize when he graduated, we were like 3 years old?
The film opens up on the promise of summer freedom and closes on sunrise, suggesting that every generation goes through the same transitions. As the Criterion Collection notes, the ending credits' morning drive is as much about hope and letting go as it is about saying goodbye to the past. At first glance, Dazed and Confused looks like a nostalgic throwback. Students wear tie-dye and bell-bottoms, but Linklater deliberately refused to play up 70s nostalgia. In multiple interviews, he emphasizes the fact that he thought the 1970s sucked and set out to make an anti-nostalgia film. I didn't want it to be this fond look at, oh, what a great era. This was a shitty time. It was always a crummy time. You're a teenager. It's always going to be difficult, no matter when and where. In practice, this means the decade mostly recedes into the background. Not much anchors the movie to 1976, in the way a historical drama might. There are no Vietnam or Watergate references. We hear a brief TV news snippet about Republicans, but the kids act like it's just another show. Linklater's point was to present the moment-to-moment reality of being a teenager, not to deliver a textbook on the 70s. Ironically, this restraint helped the film become more universal, and for many nostalgic anyway. Part of that is luck, but part is by design. Nothing in the story hinges on real historical events. As one fan puts it, that was my life, but nothing was the same, highlighting that teens everywhere recognize themselves in the film, even if the cars and music differ. Linklater and cinematographer Lee Daniel avoided flashy modern techniques. The goal was for the film to look like it was shot in the 70s. For example, in the party scene, the camera often drifts slowly through conversations of chatty students, as if joining their conversation. The lighting and color are muted, like grainy drive-in films of that era. Music in the film often plays blaring from car stereos, jukeboxes, or radios. Universal executives wanted cheaper modern rock covers, but Linklater insisted on genuine period tracks. The outcome is a soundtrack that feels like it's simply part of the air the characters breathe. Whether woven into their environment or swelling over a scene, it all fits. Much of Dazed and Confused charm lies in the dialogue. Linklater wrote scenes in broad strokes and let actors improvise much of the banter. The lines are so loose and meandering, full of 1970s lingo, but also the timeless filler of teen conversation. The famous bit,
All right, all right, all right.
was ad-libbed on set, and quickly became Witterson's signature line. Many exchanges are as mundane. Comedy in the film is as offhand as the drama. The film never states its themes outright, but we laugh when characters voice them. Linklater balances this humor against genuine moments of rebellion and longing. As he puts it, high schoolers are looking for something cool, the endless pursuit of something you never find. Watching the characters joke around on screen feels honest, because the filmmakers cultivated an improvisational script. Part of Dazed and Confused lasting fame is its cast. The cast was deliberately picked from relative unknowns, and mostly Texas actors. Linkletter encouraged improv on set. When one actor didn't fit in the groove, Linkletter would restructure it. For example, McConaughey's Wooderson and his now famous one-liners emerged organically when the cast was getting playful. Meanwhile, Ben Affleck's O'Banion bristles with sexual frustration and aggression, underscoring how the film even skims patriarchal attitudes. None of these characters are here for plot propulsion. Their small interactions flesh out the world. As Vanity Fair puts it, there's no corny plot to slow things down. Really, there's no plot at all. The camaraderie behind the camera translated on screen as genuine chemistry. The young cast lived together, partied together, discovered Austin together, forming an authentic group that you can feel on screen.
That piece of paper, some other choice we're gonna try and make for you. You gotta do what Randall Pink Floyd wants to do, man. And let me tell you this, the older you do get, the more rules are gonna try to get you to follow. You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Well, look, man, all I'm saying is that if I ever start referring to these as the best years of my life, remind me to kill myself.
Well, all I'm saying is I just want to look back and say that I did it the best I could while I was stuck in this place. Had as much fun as I could when I was stuck in this place. Played as hard as I could when I was stuck in this place. Dogged as many chicks as I could when I was stuck in this place.
When Dazed and Confused hit theaters in 1993, it was a modest $6.9 million indie that grossed barely $8 million. Critics liked it, but audience didn't flock to it immediately. Over time, however, the film's cultural legacy grew enormous. In retrospective essays and fan forums, it's praised for its definitive coming-of-age story, and one of the greatest summer night movies. Digital Trends sums it up. It so effortlessly evokes summer because it dramatizes the familiar freedom that comes when the final bell rings. Teenagers' universal thrill of not going to class tomorrow is crystallized in this film. Ultimately, Dazed and Confused endures because it understands what it's like to be young, messy, hopeful, and restless. Its thesis, embedded through narrative and style, is that adolescence is always an awkward, rebellious liminal moment. Linkletter himself concludes that the film tells you that there's something about teenagedom that never changes. By shunning overt nostalgia and focusing on the character's truth, Dazed and Confused became, quite literally, timeless.
I shouldn't do this, but I'm willing to wipe the slate clean and forget about all of this. I want you to finally get your priorities straightened out, quit hanging out with that bunch of hoodlums, and sign your commitment to your team. Have you done that yet?
I'm still thinking about it.
No one's paying you to think about it. Just do it, son.
You know, Coach, I gotta get going. Me and my loser friends, you know, we gotta go get Aerosmith tickets. Top priority of the summer. Oh, Coach, I forgot. I might play ball, but I will never sign that. That's rock and roll.
All right, man. Living.